Well, I think it's safe to say that I've successfully transitioned from Call of Duty to Battlefield. That's right. Battlefield 4 is an amazing game on its own. Don't get me wrong. I'm so glad that this was the first game that I ever bought for my PlayStation 4, and it's currently the only game that I own for it. But you have to understand that there are just so many things wrong with it that it's just so frustrating and it's hard to enjoy it when it's just not at its full potential. Especially after its predecessor being amazing as it was, Battlefield 3. It's just it did not live up to its expectations. Battlefield 4 had so much going for it and just it fell head over heels. But don't get me wrong, it's still a fun game and I'm always going to enjoy the full realistic warlike experience that comes with it. It's so much better than Call of Duty ever was, and that's why I enjoy it, and that's why I'm not saying it's a horrible game. And I also don't want to get my head chopped off by a bunch of die-hard Battlefield fans, or by Dice themselves. But you get what you get where I'm going at with this. There's just some things that I think a lot of people would also agree with me on this. So here are my top 10 reasons why Battlefield 4 can be irritating. First thing I noticed immediately upon playing Battlefield 4 were these shitty ass connections that prevent you from finishing or joining a match at any given time. Now, I have no idea if it's my connection, the other player's connection, or if it's just the trashy servers that came with the game. But either way, DICE needs to do something about it immediately, and that'd be much appreciated if they want to keep their customers, like, right now. Congratulations, number 9. You have been assigned to the sniper rifles of Battlefield 4. Now, I have absolutely no objection to sniping whatsoever in Battlefield 4, but it's still just a pain in the ass when you're trying so hard to kill a guy and it takes two bullets when it should only be taking one, and when you're aiming for his head, but the bullet falls due to gravity and hits him in the chest. Now, I understand they're trying to make it realistic, but let's not make it too realistic to the point where it just isn't fun at all. It shouldn't have to be a chore. I already know some people aren't going to like this one, but number 8 is going to the counter knifing in Battlefield 4. I know, it's fun and it's different this time with knifing, but theoretically, while it is correct that this should be able to happen, it's still fucking annoying. When I sneak up on a guy, he turns around, but turns my own blade inside my stomach. It's like, come on, really? Number 7 doesn't really have a name for it. It's just that irritating moment when you are piloting a helicopter and you jump out, and right before you can plan where you want to land, the whole helicopter itself crushes you to death. I mean, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You're basically it's basically a gamble to see if you can even get out of the helicopter alive, much less being able to land where you want to land. Stepping away from the multiplayer for just a quick second comes the slightly above average campaign in Battlefield 4. I say slightly above average because the campaign in Battlefield 3 was amazing. It was so much fun, and I don't get that same adrenaline, I don't get that same suspense when I'm playing the story in Battlefield 4. And don't even start me with the ending. I'm sorry. I was having fun with the campaign a little bit up until the ending. It's like really big face palm. Big face palm. I'm not really going to beat Dice up too much for this one since it's not really their fault, but next up on my list is the fact that nobody says anything. And it's a shame because I really love the fact that they split us up into squads, like individual teams, and it requires a necessity for strategy. And there really isn't much of a strategy to form when they can't hear you and they're not saying anything back. And don't tell me that they don't have the means to communicate. We were all given that earpiece. when we bought the PlayStation 4. They're choosing not to talk. Number 4 kind of hurts me deep down inside because, especially when I'm sniping, I'm in that back corner completely unseen by anybody else, and the second I get a successful kill, I'm completely highlighted in orange, and the enemy can clearly see where I am, giving them the opportunity to respawn and then being able to track me down and kill me. I mean, just what good does that do? It's like, are you trying to like express some like sense of empathy for people who die? We were able to expose them. Why should we be exposed ourselves? Fall damage. We've all had it. It's always existed in video games. But Battlefield, you take it to a whole nother level. I mean, it's one thing to land on the ground after jumping from a building and getting hurt, but when I jump a grand total of 9 feet in the air and die, just it's absolute blasphemy. I don't know what you were thinking when you made that, but God, I just can't stand it. Coming in at second place is the whole concept of creating a class in Battlefield. Now, I like the idea of being able to switch your weapons during the battle, but it's still a little annoying when I can't change my weapons, or just my entire class for that matter, after or before a match, especially during the intermissions when I'm trying to decide which weapons I want to use next. And the fact that we can only pick one weapon per category, and we can't pick a different weapon from that same category in another class. I have to constantly change different weapons after every single time I die. Alright, here it is. The number one reason why Battlefield 4 can just be so irritating sometimes is that it reminds me too much of Battlefield 3. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about Battlefield 3 by any means. I'm not saying it at all. But what is annoying is when I pay an exceptionally high price for something fun, only for me to spend the exact same amount for something that was the exact same thing. It's not cool. It's not cool. Alright, so again, aside from all these shortcomings that I just listed in Battlefield 4, it still remains an amazing game. I absolutely love it. I'll always play it. I'll still be posting short videos of gameplay by me from it every so often. But I definitely hope that change will come if they do make a Battlefield 5. Because while it was fun, it still had there's definitely room for correction. So, yeah, if you guys agreed with me, leave a like, leave a comment if there was anything that you thought I missed, if there's anything that I made a mistake on. But yeah, other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all later.